everyone. Welcome to another week here on YouTube. And we are in week 9 of Reddit League Season 3. And yeah, Calamity, getting close to the end of things here. We've only got a few more weeks left for these players to try to make a push for a promotion or avoid relegation.
Yeah, and well, they've both sort of got their clear tasks ahead of them. BOKSA currently in first, looking to secure that playoff spot, and Radu in 11th, looking to not get relegated. So at least they both know what they've got to do for the rest of the season. And with 3 weeks to go, there's still some time to make that happen. If you look at the stats for them, I'm not sure if you actually sort of took the yellow card for Rado out of the average points. I don't assume you did,
So
because 3,000 points lower average sounds a bit too much. But yeah, even with the even if you would ignore that, there's probably still quite a decent gap between them. Which, well, would only make sense looking at the position in the table. But Radu is the person who at any given day can still perform to the highest standard and can definitely still put in a great performance against BOKSA, who's been very consistent so far and who can definitely do the same as well.
yeah. Yeah, I did include the yellow card in his calculations because it was an official score.
Mm.
So it counts as a 0. So that drops his obviously his average down quite a bit. Without that, he'd probably be up closer to the 21,000 mark or 22,000 mark, maybe even. But one thing to point out here maybe is that BOKSA has been kind of on a rough run of form. His draw and loss have all come pretty recently. So his victories are a little bit far back in the rearview mirror, and he'll be looking to change his kind of run of form around against RC, who is going to be looking to change his fortunes as well and try to get out of that relegation spot for Division 1 and stay up for the first time. So we take a look at the map they'll be playing on. It is Islands, as of course we are in week 9. Author David, average score 14,371 over 1,000 locations. It's been played about 346 times. Lots of islands, big and small, but the author definitely favors small islands and islands that are not entire countries. Is that correct, Calamity?
Yeah, at least from my experience with the map, that is correct. I would
Mhm.
say Radu is maybe not the favorite here, but I definitely think he has what it takes to at least get, or like guarantee himself a draw, meaning at least get 24,900 points here, because he does have a lot of experience with the game. He does have a lot of knowledge about meta as well and stuff like that, which can certainly help you out on islands. Um, so yeah, could definitely be a very close game.
Yeah, definitely, especially with a world map where points are a little bit easier to come by. Being in the right neighborhood is worth a whole lot more, and it definitely a map that Radu will favor himself on against an opponent like BOKSA. So with that, let us jump right into this matchup. And right off the start, a pretty recognizable location as BOKSA is already zooming in, Calamity.
Yeah, he's already zooming in on Puerto Rico. There's not really that many islands you could have that look like this. You have Spanish there. There are a couple of Mexican islands that are on the map, but the more you look around, the more you notice similarities with the US in terms of architecture and stuff like that. Yeah, the more you just realize, okay, there really is no other place that could look quite like this.
Yeah. Besides that, they've read a few small signs, but I don't think they've seen a town name quite yet.
Box,
Though
yeah,
it.
Box is
Oh, there we
near a
go.
sign.
Radio
Yeah,
just has. They both just
yeah.
have at the same time as I mentioned that, and sure enough, they'll zip on down to a Ponce and place that pin down, and it's already down to pinpointing with just under 2 minutes left. So
And
actually
Box,
pretty straightforward round
yeah,
for them
Boxer
here.
saw a street name on the house there, on an advertisement probably. Because it's not usually the easiest thing to pinpoint in cities in Puerto Rico, as Radu does it quite easily. because it depends a bit on where you are, which city you're in. But Pons generally doesn't have too many street signs.
Mm.
I tell you the road names, but generally, if you make it to a numbered road, you will get them. But otherwise, you have to, like BOKSA did, look for advertisements or stuff like that to get your street names.
Yeah, he's in a general location, but he is having a bit of a tricky time. Now, this might be where it favored Radu a bit. Radu, a player in last season where Puerto Rico was actually a map. Box, of course, not taking part in season 2. So maybe a little bit of that practice from last season paying off for Radu here at Calamity.
Yeah, that could definitely be a case. I don't remember how much. Actually, while BOKSA is pinpointing, let me quickly look up how Radu did last season in Puerto Rico. But it could definitely be a factor. Even if he didn't do too much practice, he surely at least, played through the seed and got a bit more experience with it via that.
Yeah, and the El Army will definitely be a good point of interest that will help them pinpoint, and they'll both pick up an ace there. Actually, Buck's a little bit closer, 3 meters to 6, but both of them picking up the ace
Yeah.
in that one. So
Radu actually didn't do too well last season in Puerto Rico. He got a win against Benica back then, but he only got 22-4-2-4 in a seed that Ice, for example, 25K'd. So I think he had about like the 7th best score, I'd say, in his seed. So probably didn't practice too much back then, or just had, not the best time playing the seed.
yeah, well, definitely did much better in this round at least. As we jump into round number 2, see what they can do, and a nice country road here. A little bit less obvious where we might be, except for probably North America.
Yep.
BOKSA immediately thinking Canada.
Immediately
And
thinking Prince Edward
there's
Island
some of
as
those
well.
street signs. Yeah. Well, maybe, it is probably North America. Most of the North American islands are either West Coast, East Coast. This does feel a little bit more East Coast, and Radu definitely agrees as he gives a little shake of the mouse to indicate that he's also thinking the same thing.
Yeah, if you are thinking it's Canada and not the US, there's really not many options you're left with on the East Coast. You kind of only really have
Yeah.
Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island and maybe a couple of very small islands that I can't think of right now.
And Radu will pick up a provincial road number 232, which will help him start his pinpointing. Again, just under 2 minutes to go, and they're both already in that portion. Looks like BOKSA hasn't found a road number, but he's got some cities. So that'll help him at least start to get an idea. Radu already trying to pick out the curve in the road that he believes we are at.
Yeah, BOKSA's found, I think he's found one of the cities.
Yeah, I think BOKSA is sort of knows an area, but those cities didn't have any distances on them, so that could be a little bit tricky. He's trying to get this street name to appear for himself. There it is, Branch. And that's not the road he's on, so I'll have to keep looking. Still have a minute to go, but Radu already really outpacing BOKSA here in the first 2 rounds, Calamity.
Yeah, Radu does a lot of speed running as well, so it's not surprising to me that he can go quite fast. But yeah, so far, pretty good seed for him.
Yeah. Very quick on the draw. BOKSA a little bit slower, but nonetheless just as accurate. He's got the road, and now with about 30 seconds, we'll begin his pinpointing exactly where he might be. Taking a look at a road to the south. What's up to the north? Got to be a little bit further up, probably. There we go. And now checking that starting location again, that we are just in front of that curve. And that should be enough for him to exactly be confident to guess. And another ace for him as well. He's much closer. I'll give him that, Calamity, but Radu is faster. So very interesting playstyles we have compared with these two.
Yeah, and The thing is, neither of that really matters in this scenario, because we do have quite a big um quite a big distance that can still give you 5k being a world map, and especially because it's
Mhm.
islands as well, you've got pretty much every corner of the world. Because sometimes the thing is, maps have like how far away you can be to still get 5,000 points depends on how far away the locations you have are from each other. So if you technically,
Mhm.
if you have a location at every corner of the world, as far away from each other as possible, you get about 185 meters. The less locations you have in these extremes, the lower or the closer you have to be to the right location.
Mhm. Yeah, and those islands definitely occupy every little corner of the world, while some of the larger continents that are common on a world map don't always go that far apart. So even extra benefit for Radu and his speed skills here in this map. As we head into round number 3, and oh, Russia. A relic off the start.
Yep.
And there are not too many Russian islands either, but they are very far apart. Maybe that's worth pointing out, as there are some islands very far west and very far east. So,
Yeah. And it's I wouldn't even necessarily say there aren't that many Russian islands, but there definitely aren't that many with Street View coverage. Um, and the thing is with Russia, a lot of the islands are kind of, or the islands that are in this map at least, are kind of non-obvious.
mm,
Because there aren't really that many obvious Russian islands where you can say, okay, this is a big island that's, I know this is somewhere over here. A lot of it is
yeah.
just like very small parts of land that are just disconnected from the mainland by a river or something like that, and that therefore don't stand out on the map.
Mm. And BOKSA, as well as
Uh,
reading those signs very, very closely, and looks like they do know it is Archangel
I'm very happy that
up
someone
there.
actually managed to read Arkhangelsk on that sign
Mm-hmm.
right at the start.
Right, so BOKSA's got it, but now he's got to remember that it's an island map, so don't put us on the main peninsula. You're looking for something a little bit more islandy, island-esque. Radu, though, traveling as far as he can, looking for some more clues. I don't think he got a city name. He missed that yellow sign. He was reading some other white ones. Didn't have the city name on it.
Yep. The advantage
So
that
he
Radu
is.
does have is that he is now in the city. So
Mm,
Boxer probably doesn't have the time to make it there. So if Boxer doesn't find the right place with the information he has, then I would say Radu is more likely to get a better score if he does find out where exactly we are.
mm. This round proving a bit more tricky. Only have under a minute left to go. Oh, there's
There we
Archangel
go.
again. And that will be enough information for him to zoom in on the city. There it is. He also does the same thing. Uh, let's put ourselves on an island. There we go. I don't really know what he's looking for. Maybe these city names or district names, whatever they might be.
Uh,
Looks like actually a street name.
well, yeah, the lower one is a
So
street name, and
Guditsa, yeah.
he also had a street name right next to where he found the city name at the start, which he was looking for quite a while, but couldn't find.
And in the meantime, Radu's travels have reaped quite a bit. He's looking to pinpoint his location and has got it for his third ace of the game. Uh, Definitely making sure that BOKSA is at the top of his game, but it appears he is, as he'll also get the ace. So Calamity 3 rounds in, and they're both on a perfect game, and neither one of them yet to drop any points and leave any space for their opponent to make up some ground.
Yeah, very good so far. I think both of them would probably be happy if it ends in a draw with both of them getting perfect games, because, well, that means both of them get 3 points. Um, I think neither of them
Yeah.
would mind.
Yeah, exactly. Like they could get as many points as they would have win with a perfect game, anyways. As we head into round number 4, and another European location, and little white signs, very Scandinavian looking language.
Yeah, this time I can actually read the signs.
Internet quality a little bit better today.
Not
There we go,
not
but
really that much, but rather just stopped on it for long enough. Either
Mm.
that or my video lagged at the right point.
Either way, you'll take it. But I mean, this is one of those things, right? Where okay, we know we're kind of in Scandinavia. There are lots of islands. It can be very
Yeah.
hard to find the right island, as Radu gets a very nice sign there for a road. Hopefully, pause long enough for Calamity to read that.
It is paused, but just too
But
far away.
even if you get even if you get the wrong island, you're still pretty close. So you might only drop a few hundred points at most.
Yeah,
Just being in even being in the right country, but the wrong island. So
it depends a lot on where the island is exactly, because as opposed to Russia, where you don't have many islands, but you know, they are mostly like, what am I going to say? I wanted to say that Russia has quite few islands, but they can be quite far apart. Finland, Sweden, Norway, etc., have lots of islands. They're not that far apart, but they're pretty much all covered. And you can still be quite far away, obviously not to the extent of Russia, as Radu finds the name of the island there actually. But you can definitely still lose over 1,000 points if you, for example, go for the west coast of Sweden and it happens to be one of the islands around Åland, for example.
yeah. So he'll start searching for that name while BOKSA is still kind of lost in the weeds, so to speak. Not on a major road. Probably trying to find one. And ooh, there we go. Radu's speed skills again proving useful as he scans dozens of smaller islands and finds the right one. There were lots of road signs at the start, so it shouldn't be too hard to pinpoint this round as well. And sure enough, he will jump back to the start to double check. The locations haven't been too bad. Not only have they been in places with kind of signs, but also points of interest near intersections and so on that have really helped them pinpoint even faster in this game, Calamity.
Yeah, definitely. Not always the case on this map, but these ones have been pretty nice so far. And it might have been a different question if, the leeway you had was smaller, as we saw in Radu in Prince Edward Islands, where he was about 40 meters away.
Mm.
But given you have a couple 100 meters almost, you can, even with a relatively decent reference point, you can still get perfect scores.
Yeah, and unfortunately for BOKSA, he will drop a few hundred points. Knowing the country, but again, far down south, not quite sure what island it was, ran out of time. 4,420 points for him. Still very, very competitive, but Radu is not making it easy.
Yeah, Radu also started looking for the islands in the right place, which certainly helped. And yeah, Box, I don't think he ever saw more than just street names. So even if he had found the right island name, he probably wouldn't have known it was it anyway.
Mm. Yeah, it kind of turns out like, just making the right turns, getting on that major road where you see some signs, that little bay port that Radu got to was definitely very helpful. While BOKSA definitely kind of just stuck back in some of those backwoods and not getting any real information. Lots of local nice information, but nothing to help him pinpoint where in Sweden he was. But 600 points is not insurmountable. Definitely pretty close, especially because all he has to do is get within 100 to get a draw. And it doesn't look like it might happen here because only about 8 seconds into the round, Radu seems to know we're back over in the eastern coast of Canada again. So it could be very close indeed if Radu drops any points at all.
Yeah, Radu definitely still going for the 25k, the perfect game. As we said at the start, he needs all the points he can get to fight against relegation. And it looks like this is probably his best chance to get a perfect game, with the remaining two maps being Bolivia and Kenya, which, are possible to 25k, but rely a bit on luck because you can definitely get locations that just aren't reliably doable. Because your margin of error is also that much smaller, because for those you only have 15, actually 14 meters. So if you can get it here, that's definitely something great for him.
Yeah. looking for a town name or something that might fit his location, covering the entirety of the coastline, up and down, but yet to find something he likes. BOKSA as well in the right general location, of course, but hasn't seen any clues himself where he might be. I'm not really sure what Radu is looking for. There it is. A little town name, and sure enough, he did recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
At least it was worth looking for. Maybe he wasn't entirely sure, but worth the shot. Pays off.
Yep.
It's a nice post office. That's even a better sign. That one you really know where it is.
Yeah.
It's a post office, so
everything
much
else
more likely to be the town name than just some store.
Yeah, everything else could just be
but it does appear that
particularly popular brand of something in this town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is that BOKSA found this much later than Radu, which means he won't have the same amount of time to speedily scour the coastline looking for the town name. He's going to hope it pops up some ways away.
It does.
It doesn't appear to be doing that.
It does. You don't have to zoom in that far to see it.
But will he catch it? Not quite yet. There we go. There, he's got it. Just as I say it, of course, he finds it. And Radu actually putting us in the water, according to the map.
Yes.
Coastlines are accurate.
Totally.
Somewhere along that street. So it looks like, unfortunately for BOKSA, I don't think it's possible for Radu to drop points. And not only not drop points, he's going to get an ace, Calamity. A perfect game. Well done for Radu. That'll really help his chances. BOKSA also picking up the ace in the final round, but Calamity, it only takes one round, and one not even that bad round, only dropping 580 points.
580, yep.
At all. Yeah, but that's all it takes. Enough of a gap for Radu to slip in and not making any mistakes this week. Really gives himself a chance for survival, and really kind of makes BOKSA a little bit worried. Calamity, he's cutting it close here to stay in that top 4.
Yeah, he's not too worried just yet, given how the week played out apart from this match as well. The 24,420 points just about were enough for a bonus point, so you can take that with him. And as most of his competitors didn't have too great weeks either, he's actually more secure in his spot than he was last week. So it's looking good for him.
A bit of luck there. Definitely boosting Radu's chances as well to get out of those automatic relegation spots. And I'm pretty sure he's up out of even the playoff relegation spots as it stands after this week. But still 2 more weeks to go and all to play for both of these players. So if you don't want to miss anything, hit that subscribe button and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Bye.